What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, August 19th, 2019. I hope you're doing well. What is Bitcoin doing? We're going to make this video to the point. We're going to talk about, is Bitcoin getting a little bounce? What is in store for Bitcoin in the short term? I want to take a very quick look at this short clip. Let's jump in. Will this support channel hold? Very short term, if you want to look at the most short term bullish type of scenario, you'd see support, maybe even some sideways action the next couple days, just in this area, right? And then a bounce back up and through the 50 moving average. So that was from the other day. Obviously, you can see we got our bounce. We got our bounce off of this Fibonacci retracement. We did trade sideways within that zone for a little bit as anticipated. It's normal. This is what I shouldn't say always, but this happens so often in terms of Bitcoin support and resistance on the upside and on the downside. So we have our bounce. Now, most critically on the daily chart, if we're looking at the daily chart, the 50 moving average right here is the place to break above. I mean, we are like right there. You can see this daily candle wicked above it. This is right around 10,800, 10,000, I think on this chart, 780, 770. So we're very close to that area. Bitcoin needs to break above it if Bitcoin is going to see a continuation in this longer term trend to the upside. We know our most critical area of resistance is this red rectangle, this Fibonacci retracement long term. That is the swing high from the bull market to the bear market low into this 618 to 786 zone. That is something we've been tracking. Now on the oscillators here, and the momentum oscillators for Bitcoin, there is upside to get a breakout to the upside, right? So there's definite room for momentum through this 50 moving average to this upper trend line for even a potential break, right, to our target out of this falling wedge around 16,000, 16,200, which is a huge area if Bitcoin got to. This red rectangle, the doorway to the bull market, is what I've been saying. It's just from my technical analysis perspective, that is just my opinion. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart, though, we might get a little bit of a glance, some insight into what we might anticipate in the very short term, right? So we talked about daily upside momentum is there. It is there. But on the shorter term, we still might have some volatility to the downside. We still have a lot of room to the downside to go on the 4-hour chart. You can look at these oscillators down here. The stock RSI, pretty much in that overbought area, right, on the 4-hour. We had a little bit of a good last 24 hours or so. And the same thing with the stock or with the RSI. Let me go back to this RSI. If we look at the RSI here, if I can open it. So if we look at the RSI, not in the overbought area, not in the oversold area. So really on this slower moving momentum oscillator, the stock RSI is a faster moving oscillator, right? It's an indicator of this indicator that's on the screen, the RSI. So there actually is a lot of room for Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. So we're at a really interesting area in terms of Bitcoin. If I had to say anything, I would say there's probably more momentum to the upside. You can even see momentum on the MACD on the 4-hour. Just getting to that zero on the histogram here, that MACD line. We had that MACD cross the signal line like 3 or 4 days ago. And so it's kind of, we have this upward momentum, and on this RSI that we just looked at, there's definite room for momentum to the upside. But if we're looking at the 4-hour chart, what do we really need to maintain to get that momentum, right? We need to maintain support above this channel. This is that Fibonacci channel that we saw the clip of at the beginning of this video. And we really need support there so that we see this 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart not cross the 200 moving average, right? So we want to see a leveling out here with the 50 moving average for continued upside and a breakout, right? On the very short term, we kind of have this new symmetrical triangle in play within this larger falling wedge. It's just another pattern to track. And often we have these smaller patterns within these larger patterns, and they give us clues into what to look for. So what to look for on the downside, we have this lower trend line, right, of these higher lows. We have this upper trend line of lower highs, right? And now we're consolidating close to the apex here. So we really want to see support here above this area down to 10,400. That is probably the most important area of support we want to see for Bitcoin. So maybe expect a little volatility down to that area. But if we start kind of coming down into this $9,800 area, just be on the lookout. It would be fine and healthy to put in a higher low here for a bounce closer to the apex and outs, but anything can happen. We can break that support. So that's what I'm looking at. Let me know what you're looking at. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.